Yes, guys, good morning. And it is a day to have a good morning. So, today is Sunday, the 22nd of February. So, I last caught up with you guys last Saturday, which was my return to YouTube after a long time away. So, we did a full day of eating, a push session, and we've had a full week of progress since then. So, I appreciate everybody who messaged me, liked the video. I got quite a fair few subscribers from it as well. Big up the guy who dropped me my first hate comment last night while I was trying to watch The Hobbit and wind down for bed in peace. Appreciate you taking the time out to comment that apparently I waffle too much. I agree, I definitely do, but people enjoy it, so I will continue to do that. And I also try and educate and give an insight as who I am, so I'm not going to change that for some guy who wears Crocs as a fully grown adult. So keep doing your thing, mate. But today is a rest day. I thought I'd run you guys through kind of my rest day meals. I also want to review my blood work, which I said I was going to do last week. I also said I was going to take you guys down to see Liv in Manchester, which I didn't end up doing because my appointment was at 11. Manchester, for anybody that doesn't know, is about 2 hours from where I live in Durham. So I had to leave here with enough time to make sure I could, have a toilet trip. So I left here at like 8:30 in the morning. Sundays are also my check-in day. So basically what I'm trying to say is I was in a little bit of a rush, even though I still got up at 5. So I had a few lads check in. I had a check-in to do myself. I wanted to make sure I got down there on time. Obviously prep my meals, take those with me. And also because it was our first session, like me and Liv, it was the session where we had to, analyse my physique a lot, and I didn't want to make that process any less efficient. So I will take you down. She, I told her I'm going to bring the camera one day, so she was like, shit. So yeah, be ready, Liv, be ready. But I'll take you through blood work today, a full day of eating on a rest day. Obviously, I've got an update from last week in terms of prep. I did check in on that Sunday. Hilly did make a change, and that change has also took me forward in terms of progress, but I'm not going to give that update now. I'll give that update a bit later on. So we'll do a full day of eating. Rest days for me, there's not a lot goes on, I'll be totally honest. It's exactly what it says on the tin. It's a rest day. Rest days for me, if I can, I'll try and do some admin stuff, haircut, massage, but I'm not in for a massage. I'm going to get a massage next week. So we have had steps forward, which I'm very, very, very happy with, and I do feel it. But right now, as always, like I said on my last video, woke up, definitely give myself a little bit extra in bed today. Usually I get up about 5, today I got up at 6, with it being a rest day. Fat burners have gone in, so over the counter fat burners. SLU, L-carnitine, GH, and fluid, and now I am doing 35 minutes of a flat treadmill walk at 2.8 miles an hour, and then I'll do 25 minutes incline, and then I'll go and check in with Hilly because it's starting to get a little bit lighter in the morning now, thank God, so I can actually take some decent check-in photos with decent lighting at a decent time and not wait until like 5 to 9 to send Hilly check-in photos, because Hilly's cut-off is actually 9 a.m. So yeah, if you're watching this, Hilly, my bad. So I'm going to do this cardio now, or steps, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to check in with Hilly, and you ain't going to see that because I still look like a bag of milk. And then I'll run you through meal 1, and then we'll have a catch up on what the changes were from last week. I don't think Hilly will make changes this week because we've had a good week of progress. But I will let you know how the check-in goes. I'll take you through meal 1, and then we'll catch up since what's been going on since last week. And then take you through the day, and obviously I want to take you through blood work as well, so see you after I've done my check-in. Alright, so that is check-in complete. As predicted, I look like a bag of milk. By my standards, honestly, what I'm looking at right now is it's not looking good, Brev. So I think a bit of advice for anybody who's getting into maybe their first prep, or even, to be fair, people that are competing regularly, you'll probably understand this anyway, is those first 6-8 weeks, maybe even a little bit longer, you've got to kind of detach yourself from what you're looking at, because you've got to look worse to look better. And as cliche as it sounds, it's so true. Like, as your body fat's coming off, you're not eating as much food, you're not lean yet, but you're also not off season full. Obviously, if you're assisted, that assistance hasn't quite come up yet. You're not loaded with glycogen like you would be in the off season, but you're also not super lean like you would be in a prep, where things look bigger due to insertions being shown. You have a bit more of a hyper response to more food. You just don't look very good. And that's how I'm feeling right now. So honestly, I try not to look at the physique. Hilly asked for like last week and this week to be put side by side in each pose, send it off, job done, don't care, keep moving. The work still has to get done, and obviously, like I said, you've got to look worse to look better. So checked in today, 230.8, and I was 233.2 last week, so that's 2.4 pounds down, which is good going. So the changes we made last week were carbs on a training day out of meal, 2 and 3, so 100 grams of rice down to 75 in each of those, so 50 grams of rice out on a training day. And then rest day we took carbs out of meals, 2, 3, 4, which was, they were all 100 grams of raw weight rice, they're all down to 75, so 75 grams of raw weight rice out, and that was it. And that saw me drop 2.4 pounds. So don't need to be big changes, but you know, small manipulations ahead of time can really reap some good results. Also, it all depends on how do you attack your tasks for the day. You know, are you going out and doing a little waddle of steps, or are you actually going out and actually trying to, you know, get your heart rate elevated and stuff? So 2.4 pounds down, those are the changes. I'm waiting for Hilly to get back to me now. I'll be totally honest, I did ask him around what are the plans across, well, I don't even know what I was facing. What are the plans across prep in terms of like cycle? Are we looking to titrate it up, titrate it down? Because right now it's not very high. And I'll be honest, I asked him, are we looking to up the dose? Because right now I'd like to see that a little bit higher, but everything Hilly does with reason. So I'll wait to see what he says when he gets back to me. But I might up the dose anyway, who knows? Oh well, we've all done it, no point in lying about it. But anyway, meal 1, what is going down in Chinatown? Literally exactly the same as a training day. So 2 whole eggs, an apple, pink lady, 100 grams cream of rice, 30 grams of whey. I will put in a little bit of this designer powder, the flavour powder from ESN. All my morning supplements, saw those last week if you didn't, go check the video out. Obviously salt, so I've got all my salt weighed out in there. So I've got 6 grams of pink Himalayan and 3 grams of low salt. So that's meal 1, exactly the same as a training day. You'll probably notice, like, when it comes to my food, training day and rest day, food sources, food amounts, they're pretty similar for me. The simpler the better. There's no point in making this more complicated than what it needs to be. Obviously I understand as I go through prep we might swap out food sources, or what I mean by that is, like, some people might have salmon in on a rest day because it's higher in fat. People tend to have low carbs on a rest day, higher fats, but I imagine they'll stay the same, and we'll just look to manipulate carbohydrates. But that's meal 1. Check-in's been done, 7,000 steps done. Those are the changes. I'll wait for Hilly's response. When he gets back to me, I'll let you know, but I can't see him making any changes, to be honest. But hopefully he ups the dose. But I'm going to get this in now, and then, to be honest, I think I might go for coffee. On that, I bought some new fat burners the other day because I ran out of the ones I had. And again, like, Ant's got a lot on sale at the gym, so I picked up these. These are the Ultra Burn by Ultraflex. So per 2 capsules is 250 milligrams. Well, per 1 cap is 250 milligrams of caffeine, and I took 2. So what's a coffee on top of 500 milligrams of caffeine? But anyway, I'm gonna eat this meal, then I'm gonna probably go for a coffee, to be fair. So I'll either see you there or see you at the next meal. Right, so Hilly has got back to me. Like I said, I would update you as soon as he did. So, like I said last week, checked in, I was 233.2 this morning, 230.8, so 2.4 pounds down. One thing I didn't say in the last clip was when I checked in with Hilly last week, I had a feeling that I was like needing a rest sometime soon. So I think I honestly couldn't tell you the last time I took a rest from the gym. I think it was like start of December, maybe even the end of November when I last took some rest. I've not actually got it noted down, but it's been a while. I've been on prep for 4 weeks, and I've probably been in the gym, you know, training. I would say for the best part of 8 to 10 weeks, something around that mark. So I'm definitely due a rest. Like for me, rest needs to happen every 6 to 8 weeks, sometimes at a push, maybe 9 to 10. And usually that's the case. Like when I work with Kuba, like Kuba figured out with me, it's usually every 6 to 8 weeks. And he said, people that train relatively hard and smart, it's usually around that period. If you train like a dick or you just don't tick your box in terms of recovery, it's going to be less. And if you don't train hard, it's going to be more. So it's usually around that 6 to 8 week mark that I need a rest. So I checked in with him last week. I said, look, I think I need a rest sometime soon. For me, I've done this enough times now to know that when I think of that feeling, when I think, right, I need a rest, it's due in the next week. So I train this week. I train posterior on Monday, so back and legs. And the start of the session, it took me a little while to get going. But once I got going, the session was really, really good. Then I trained obviously Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and yesterday. And all of the sessions were bad boy, like really good sessions, especially Friday pull. Keefe was in, Jack was in, they were pulling from the floor. It just finally, the gym felt like it had a little bit of atmosphere finally. Let me get a light on it here, by the way. So yesterday I trained push, and on the drive home I just felt flawed. I got in yesterday, I showered, I ate my post-workout meal, and I fell asleep like without meaning to for about an hour. That is a telltale sign like I need some rest. And if my advice to anybody right now around rest, it would be you're going to have to take that rest at some point. Like you're going to have to rest either this week coming or the week after that, or even at a stretch being a dick the week after that. Like you're going to have to, if you feel it, you're going to have to take it at some point. So I've kind of learned just take it now, get it done, get out of the way. You're going to have to rest, just get it done and then move on. And the thing is as well, especially in a prep, it's going to help improve your visual. Chances are it's going to help your scale weight move down. I know for some people that's not really a focus point, but for me it is. And then it just sets you up for another 6 to 8 weeks of like getting after it. So speaking to Hilly this morning, obviously we've had a decent drop in weight that'll probably contribute as well. I said to him, look, I can feel it, I need it. If I push on next week, it's probably going to take me longer to pull myself out of that hole the following week. So let's just get it in now. So he's agreed we're going to rest today, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So 4 days total. We'll be back in on Thursday for legs. So I'll train Thursday, Friday, Saturday as normal, and then just, you know, back into the normal schedule from there. So 4 days rest on the cards. It's going to be lower food. It's going to be more rest, less CNS like fatigue. I hate that word, but you know what I mean. So all of that in combination is going to result, in my opinion, to, you know, better recovery for muscle growth, better fat loss, better sleep. Joints are going to feel better for it and thank me for it. So it's going to be only a positive. Mentally, obviously, it's hard. I know when I get to like Tuesday night, Wednesday, I'm going to be really chomping at the bit to get after it. And that's a telltale sign that I'm ready to get back in. So we're going to rest for 4 days. Everything else he's very, very happy with. The midsection this week is definitely improved. It's definitely tighter, which I'm very happy with. I did ask him around. The thing is, like, when I have a coach, and I kind of advise other people to as well, is pick their brains. They're there for a reason. You don't just hire them solely for instruction. For me, it's also about what can I learn, what can I pick, especially if someone like Hilly, he's very knowledgeable across many different reasons, there are many different topics, and he's worked with some high-level coaches himself, and he's worked with some really high-level athletes. So I said to him, look, looking at the cycle at the moment, total milligrams and also individual compounds, it's relatively low. I've looked back at my last couple of preps. It's not much lower. So I'm not saying that we're like miles off. However, this season, I really want to, I know I've said this every season, but obviously I really want to go for it this year. It's a bit of a bad mentality as an athlete to have, but I'll do what is necessary. So I kind of wanted to know why his setup for that side of things is the way it is. it wasn't, I want to put it up. It's just, can I get your reason and your understanding? And I knew exactly what he was going to say. So to kind of summarize, the reason for it being the way it is because I have a weight cap, long and short. It's funny, I've just been watching Ryan Gabelloni's YouTube, and he's in the same boat as me. He's on prep. He's not got a lot of weight cap, and he is also running low assistance, simply for the fact that we don't have the weight cap. We know if we put in higher amounts of assistance, the scale weight will likely spike, if not be very stubborn and not want to move. And we have a weight cap to hit. So the assistance going in, especially when I tell you about my blood work with what my hormone levels came back at, the assistance that will be going in is going to put me in a super physiological range. It's going to do what we need it to do, but it's also going to mean that it's going to allow the weight to come down without it sticking or spiking. So that is the reason why he has got it the way it is. Secondly, the higher your body fat is, the higher aromatization of those compounds. So essentially the higher conversion of the male hormone to the female hormone, so the higher turnover of test into estrogen. We don't want that. You know, with high estrogen comes the potential for gyno, comes the potential for higher blood pressure, water retention. And if those ratios of test to estrogen are out, fat loss is going to be harder. So there's your two reasons. Scale weight, for one, we don't want to spike or a stick, and two, we don't want to aromatize high levels of estrogen, and we don't want to then have to use more of the kind of estrogen controlling compounds, total high milligram. So for now, what he said is we're going to keep it as it is, because the scale weight becomes our total focus until further down the line. And we will escalate if needed, and there might not be a need, depending on how our fat loss goes and things of that nature. Obviously, there will be other compounds coming later down the line. But he said for now, we're just going to rest and hold. We're going to keep our weights going in. So no changes this week. We always check in officially on a Sunday, but I will send Hilly weight on a Wednesday, a Friday, and then sometimes on a Saturday, just to make sure that it is dropping. But the only change this week is that we're going to rest. So there you have it, guys. As I always say to my clients and you know, people that are around me that ask me questions, no change is good change, because it means that shit is working. If shit wasn't working, then you would have to change the plan. So that is check-in done for another week. I've done my work. I've had meal one. The time is 10:30. I've had 500 milligrams caffeine from fat burners, but probably going to go get a decaf ice Americano now. I need to go to the shop quickly, and then it'll be no doubt time for meal two, so I will catch you there. Yes, guys, so we're back for meal two. It's gone 11:30, so a little bit over what? Sorry, actually, it's coming up to 12:30, so it's been pretty much like 3 hours now since my last meal. Rest is, it's not difficult to get my meals in, so I do space them out a little bit more. So I ran downtown, grabbed a coffee, grabbed the decaf Americano, iced. Don't know why, but I definitely prefer my black coffee iced. It just tastes a bit better. So what we have in meal two, pretty much exactly the same as what it would be on a training day. So meal two, meal three, exactly the same. I'm just going to film them in one because I don't want to get told for, oh, you're rambling too much. All right, soz bro. Connor, if you're watching this as well, Connor, if you're watching this, allow me. He was like, yeah, we get it, bro. You eat turkey steak. Just good protein source, that's all. 75 grams dry weight jasmine rice, 225 turkey steak, 5 mils of olive oil and some veg. I'm currently on this at the moment as well. Sriracha sauce. Don't know why. I must be getting my appetite back, but yeah. For now, bringing the sriracha in, taking the Nando's out. These meals as well, I'm going to have 5 mils of olive oil on each. However, yesterday, because of this thing, like pouring olive oil is a task to get it right every time. So I poured out on my second meal that has olive oil on yesterday. I woke up from that nap and I was like, all over. Poured the olive oil on the meal and ended up putting like 9.6 mils on, and obviously at that point it's too late. So I'm only going to do one meal with olive oil on today because I kind of went over yesterday. Again, it's something you learn as you go through, like not to panic. Like you can sort these things out, just take it away from the next day. It's not ideal, but it's not the end of the world. So I'll only do 5 meals on one meal. So like I said, both of these meals are the same: 75 rice, 225 turkey steak, and 5 mils of olive oil with some salt and the sriracha sauce. And that is the game plan for meal 2 and 3. I'm going to chow this down, probably go up for some more steps. I'm going to try and get them boxed off now, to be fair, early on. What am I on? 8.1 thousand. So yeah, I'll probably box those off now. And I can just chill for the rest of the day. And then we can discuss blood work. So see you in the next meal. Let's talk blood work. Something that you guys definitely should be getting, whether you're assisted or natural. You hear people talk about blood work all the time as assisted athletes, but blood work should be done natural and assisted, because if you want to optimize performance, then seeing your hormone panel, seeing your internal blood work is paramount in my opinion. It's like driving a car and not taking it to get a service. If internally you aren't running as you should, why would you then, perform at your best? You're not going to at all. Like if you've got high levels of internal inflammation, if you've got, low testosterone, or high estrogen, whatever it could be, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, anything of that nature, you are not going to be running as you should or as best as you should. So I like to get a full panel. So if you go to eval, it's the athlete panel. I like to get that done minimum twice a year, 3 times a year if I can. So definitely one pre-prep, one post-prep, and then potentially another one, kind of midway through an off season or midway through a prep, depending on what phase I'm in. And I will definitely get a hormone panel done multiple times a year to see that what I'm using is dosed at what it should be and is real and legit, but also to check that at that dose it is doing what we want it to do with hormones. So I think I've got room around here. So what I'll do is I'll stick the actual summary up here. I might actually put the so basically if you go eval, you get your full report, but you also get Dave, who owns eval, will actually do like a kind of like a layman's term summary to help break it down, because if you just look at the panel, you kind of get a little bit overwhelmed by numbers if you don't understand what you're looking for. But they also do send you like a comprehensive kind of summary of what is out, what it could be out for, and what you can do to help improve it. So looking at my results in terms of blood count, everything there is where we need it to be. It's in a good range. If anything, my hemoglobin's quite low and my hematocrit is quite low. But I expect that to increase as we go into this off season with compounds we're using. I was doing 400 milligrams, so like a cruise level dose for 16 weeks. So I think it's probably one of my longest cruises. See a lot of people in the industry talking about going on a cruise for like 4 weeks, 6 weeks, and then talking about, you're running TRT and your hormones, this, that, and the other. I'm thinking, you ain't clearing out your system, them super physiological ranges as such in 4 weeks. Maybe not even in 6 weeks for some people. The reason why I did 16 weeks is because I had a very long and aggressive off-season push using compounds that are aggressive. So I wanted to have a really good kind of downtime from that. So everything kind of from the blood, the blood cell count is good. Iron is good. So cholesterol, heart health, this is where I noticed in the past, this is heavily dictated by nutrition and by what you eat. In the past, I've been very guilty of, having 1 to 2 off-plan meals a week religiously. And those off-plan meals have been very high in sodium, very high in saturated fats. In the past for me, go-to was like a Five Guys burger. And I really don't eat off-plan all that much. If I do, it's not every week. And I'm a lot more conscious of what I eat, more so from a digestion standpoint, but also, you do have to take into consideration your cholesterol. So from here, what we can see, total cholesterol is still good, regardless of the HDL being a little bit low. So LDL is good, could be a little bit lower. HDL is low. So your LDL is your low cholesterol and your HDL is the high cholesterol. And it is a little bit low. So what are we going to do to look to improve this? Does it need improving? Not necessarily. Do I want to improve it? Yes. So David Eval recommended that we can supplement citrus bergamot and krill oil. So I'm obviously already using krill oil, but however, Hilly upped my krill oil prior to these. Sorry, just prior or maybe just after getting this blood work done. So the krill oil is now at 3 grams, and I, as you did see in my last video, bring in citrus bergamot at 500 grams, 500 milligrams morning, 500 milligrams night. So this is again why Engineered we do the standalone products, is so you don't have to buy the all-in-ones. You can use the standalone products. So HDL is something I am looking to improve and increase. Everything else in there is kind of where we would like it. Nothing's like kind of standing out. As a whole, these bloods are pretty good. Like Hilly was happy with them. So my CK is elevated. CK is a tough one because it is going to be elevated with high levels of exercise, and obviously carrying muscle mass. Your CK is going to be elevated. So we're not too concerned. To be fair, if that was low, I'd probably be concerned. 3,000 is quite high for me. I've seen it kind of. Well, I know some people are in the tens of thousands before, but I mean, you've got to be pretty beat up for that. So I think I've seen it usually around 2,000, 2,500 for me. So 3,700, it's relatively high, but nothing to worry about. Next up is creatinine. Again, common with increased muscle mass and exercise. I think it's also like high protein diets as well. So again, it's elevation, but again, nothing that we're too concerned with, to be honest. Urea, which was again somewhat elevated. Now, looking at this report from Dave, urea is elevated. This is common dehydration. So I did get these bloods done at like 9:30 in the morning. I think I only had about a litre and a half. So not a ton of fluid in. So again, I'm not too concerned with urea. ALT is elevated. Again, according to Dave's report, it's obviously common with high exercise, high CK, and obviously assistance. So Dave didn't see it as a concerning issue, and obviously we already have things in place to help with liver, such as hepatic. So we'll see how we get on with that. Vitamin B12, it pretty commonly elevated in athletes. There's a lot of vitamin B in a lot of products and in a lot of supplements as well. Thyroid, so T4 is obviously elevated because I do use 100 micrograms every day. So that is sitting just above high range. My T3, obviously I don't supplement T3, but T4 does down regulate T3, and that's sat towards the top end of T3, so it's 5.76. So that is good to know going into prep. Again, I will likely check T3 quite a way bit into prep, maybe just over halfway, maybe 3/4 of the way, to see has it slowed down and is it affecting fat loss. So really for me, the big one and the big takeaway from this, but nothing to be surprised about, is my hormone health. So as I said in the past, blood work is, yes, it's a snapshot in time, but you need to look at trends, and this is why it's getting your blood work done on a regular occurrence is a really good thing. I know naturally, or routinely, if you want to call it that, is my E2 and my prolactin do just sit high. And it's not a bad thing, especially in the off season. People demonize E2, which they rightly should if you're getting side effects. High blood pressure, gyno, limp dick, acne, whatever, all of the stuff that comes with that. I don't get that. So it's something I learned off Jordan Peters, is high E2 when it comes to building muscle is a very good thing. We need estrogen to build muscle and also to feel good, to function. So my E2 or estradiol was a little bit elevated, so it's 252. My prolactin was again somewhat elevated over the top end of the range at 404, but again, it's nothing I'm not used to seeing. So obviously going into prep, we are using compounds that will lower estrogen because we do need that lower for getting into stage condition. And again, prolactin, we are using cabergoline to bring that down. We will not be using any 19-NOS as of right now. And then another one to kind of focus on, for me personally, is the testosterone. So as you can see, my testosterone is sat in the natural range at 22. That is, not bad. It's definitely not like brilliant for an athlete, but there's a reason for this. And admittedly, I'll be the first to admit, pinning is a ball ache. It might be fun and exciting and enjoyable and sexy and shiny when you first start out, but when you're pinning yourself in an off season, even in a prep, 7, 8, 9, 10 times a day, when you calculate whatever you're using, it gets very old very quick. And after that off season spurt, moving down to 2 a week from an assistant side was very, very attractive. But then with about 4 to 6 weeks left, I'll be honest, I got very lazy when it came to taking that second pin a week. So instead of taking what I should have been taking, which was 400 milligrams total, I was taking half of that. So that would explain why my testosterone is set at 22. Am I scared about it? Am I upset about it? Am I worried about it? No, not really. If anything, it kind of excites me that I look the way I do, perform the way I did at that level of testosterone. And I think people are very scared to run down sort of that low. It's nothing. I think if you train hard, you recover, and you eat right, it's not the end of the world. I think people are very much addicted to assistance. But again, things are in place now. Obviously, going into prep where that will, when I next test it, will be super physiological over that 29 nanomole range. See, as you can see, apart from that, the only other thing, free testosterone obviously is elevated. We expect it to be. So on a whole, Hilly was happy. I'm happy. Obviously, there's some points to improve just to be a little bit more efficient, but nothing too concerning. Really, for me, the most concerning thing was my testosterone being in the physiological range, but it is what it is. You live and you learn. So I will get my hormone panel retested about 8 weeks into prep to see, the dosing that we're running, is it where we want it to be in terms of hormones, and then I will get a full panel like this redone probably halfway through prep just to make sure everything else is looking good. Halfway to 3/4 of the way through, but that is my blood work, guys. Get your blood work done. I do recommend Eval. I think they are the best in the country, and have been for a while. I think the experience that Dave and the team have over there when they give you your report afterwards is second to none. It just makes it super easy. Like, you don't need to open up your results and be like, there's stuff in red, there's stuff in blue, and there's just lots of numbers. Dave understands why things could be elevated and why things could be lowered, breaks it down and what you can do to improve them. So yeah, I'm going to go and eat meal 3, and then we've already seen that though on the last slide. And then on to meal 4, so I'll see you then. All right, boys, meal 5 going down. It is coming up to 5:15. I'm on a bit of a nostalgia trip at the moment. I've gone back and watched all of the Lord of the Rings extended edition trilogy because I'm a true fan. If you follow me on Instagram, I'm on a bit of a Lord of the Rings kick at the moment. It happens at least once a year. I will watch the entire trilogy. Just finished the first Hobbit. I'm just about to get onto the Desolation of Smaug, which is the second one. Anybody who hasn't seen the Lord of the Rings, why? You're missing out. Best movies ever made, and that is statistically correct as well, because I'm sure they've won the most Oscars of any movie of all time. Unreal. If I could be any character, it'd have to be Aragorn. He's an absolute G. But meal 5 is about to go down, so what are we having? Shock. It is no different to the setup on a training day, just a little bit less. So 225 5% mince, 75 grams of jasmine rice, veg, salt, sriracha, 200 grams of pineapple, and then with this meal, I'm going to run a tab of Glycotank, which is the GDA from Engineered, and a tab of Turbo Digest. Why, you may ask? Well, because I did all of my steps by meal 2 or meal 3. Just want to ensure that this food is being correctly partitioned, and it doesn't sit in my stomach too heavy. So that is the game plan. I'm going to get this meal in, watch some YouTube, and then get back to my Hobbit marathon. I can tell I'm so desperate for a rest, you know, like, I just feel wiped. But I'm one of those people where, like, when I speak things into existence, like, they usually come true. So it's why I really try and put off being like, I'm tired or I feel weak. You know, I feel like when you speak things into existence, it comes true. So admitting defeat with rest sometimes can be a good thing and a bad thing. Good because it means I'm not going to be pushing past where I shouldn't be. Bad because if you do it too soon, then you're going to want to rest prematurely. But yeah, apart from that, I'm going to get stuck into this. And then it's just on to meal 6, which is ending the day a little bit more fun. But like I said, my food, I like to keep it simple for preparation purposes, and going to the supermarket, it makes life so much fucking easier, man. Like, I'm not in there every day having to buy like perishable items like fruit, veg, bread, things that you run out of or that expire super quick. It's easy just to go in there, bulk buy turkey steak, mince, rice, olive oil lasts ages. You know, if you want to keep things cheap as well, this is kind of the way you want to eat, is buying things like your meats, your rices. If you're going to use fat sources like oils, these are things that you don't need to buy often, and if you do, you can buy it in bulk and it will last you a while. So there's a little tip for you. But yeah, I'm going to eat this now, and then it's the last meal before we wind down for bed. I've also started reading as well, by the way. Got a book called The Black Box Thinking. It's very good, very addictive. Looking at how you can change your perspective on seeing failure as a way to learn rather than a way to point blame. It is really good. Mindset books I'm really into, and I did want to make it something that I got into during prep and for the rest of the year. Especially before bed, it's a very good way of turning off. Because I don't know if anybody else agrees, right? Social media, smartphones, and trying to keep up with that noise of life, my head feels like static TV. I was saying this to somebody in the gym the other day, it might have been Thorburn. I was like, my head at the moment feels like static TV. It just feels mashed. So reading is such a good way to like silence that noise. It's really therapeutic as well. Like, I think what I'll try and do as well, because I'm going to obviously rest for the first part of the week, I'm going to try and take myself to a coffee shop early on and get a good chunk of reading done with a coffee on the morning. That sounds bad, boy. That is how you know you're growing up. Like, that is exciting. But yeah, I'm going to get this meal in. Whatever you're doing today, hope you're having a good one. Hope you're enjoying the YouTube. If you are, like, comment, subscribe. We're not finished yet, but I only got one comment on the last video, and it was by a fucking idiot. So we need more positivity in the comments. And I need to think some new. I think I might do like a Q&A again. They went down really well last time, so I might, if people ask me questions, because last time I did this, I think I did a Q&A for Instagram. I got like 3 questions, and like 2 of them were about drugs, which I don't mind answering, but I like funny questions. Like I seen a question once. I think Fuad got it, or somebody got it in a question box, and it was like, if you had to punch your partner in the face for like $20 million, but you couldn't tell them for a week, would you do it? Shit like that, man, it's hilarious. But anyway, I'm waffling. Chow this down. See you for the last meal. Peace. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 5th and final meal of today's rest day. Not very exciting. People asked for it. Here you go. Very straightforward. Same as a training day, a little bit less food. But I have been meal prepping for tomorrow. So these are all my training meals, which you'd have seen in the last video. Meal 1, 2, 3, 4. All there. Supplements as well. I hear this all the time. People say, I've not got time to prep meals. I can't find time to prep meals. I struggle to stay on plan. It is honestly, guys, so simple. And again, I've said it on my Instagram yesterday, we make this so much harder than what it needs to be. Like, the foundations of this, like, sport, physique enhancement, whatever you want to call it, it's super easy. Like, it gets easier the more you do it, obviously. So yes, it might be hard the first week, the second week to find the time to get into the rhythm. But once you know how to find that rhythm of cooking the base of the foods, and then obviously when your coach gives you the changes, it's just a case of taking out food or adding food in. And maybe come up with a system with your coach where you can batch cook ahead of time to give you enough days in advance before a check-in. It is super simple. Like that literally took me from something like 35 minutes to do that. And that's all 4 meals. If I was training, the only difference there is I would be having my intros to prep, and then obviously when I come home, it's just to eat my post-workout meal. Really straightforward. It's not difficult. So, you know, fail to prepare, prepare to fail. Cliche, but it's true. So that is what I've been doing. Meal prep is all done at 8:30, which means now I can eat this meal and then chill out for the rest of the night. So what is the last meal? It's not that exciting, to be honest, guys. It is 75 grams of cream of rice with 10 grams of coconut oil, 60 grams of whey, and obviously all my nighttime supplements. So let's get you set up to do the whey drip. I never ever have whey drip, by the way, but I thought I need to make this video a little bit more interesting, and also I kind of fancied it as well, to be fair. It's the first time I've made whey. It used to be, right, I've known about this for ages, by the way. So this, when I first got into it in like 2011, was a thing, and it wasn't called whey drip, it was called whey sludge. And what I used to do is, this is when I used to track macros. I used to do, if it fits your macros, I would have the sludge or the whey drip, whatever you want to call it nowadays. It might have like a little bit of almond butter or peanut butter in it, and I would dip strawberries in it, because strawberries, for the volume of carbs you get, is nothing. Or I'd put it on rice cakes. So this, I've known about this for a long time, and that's not me being Billy Big Bollocks. It's just that the wheels just kind of tried to be reinvented when it's already been around. So this is 60 grams of whey. I honestly measure the water, because trying to guess it, I've done this before in the past, you try and guess the water amount by eye, unless you do it all the time and you're very good, you'll get it wrong, and you'll, honestly, the amount of whey I've had to throw out because it's just gone to basically a protein shake in a mug. So this is 60 grams of whey with 40 grams of water, and I put it in the fridge for a little bit. Some people, that might be too thick, but my worry was that the cream of rice wasn't going to be set. So I put the cream of rice in the freezer. No, I am definitely on prep now, Anna. What the hell, putting cream of rice in the freezer, man, and out making friggin' whey drip. But yeah. To be fair, the Diamatized ISO 100 makes a pretty good whey drip. It's pretty thick, and when it's cold, do you know what this tastes like? I've just had a light bulb moment. This is so weird. Did anybody used to have, I'm gonna have to, if I can get a picture on the screen somewhere, I'm gonna do it. Did anybody used to have the probably UK only, those Milky Bar yogurts? I'm sure they're called like Milky Bar dessert pots, but it was just a yogurt. That is exactly what that tastes like. Oh my god. Fucking light bulb moment there. I can't be that in prep because I haven't actually put cinnamon on this yet. So, you know, when the cinnamon carpet goes on, as Urs calls it, then now it's a party. So yeah, last meal going in. Then it's wind down for bed. I need to chill out. That was way too way too over the top. But yeah, appreciate you guys. Hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, like it, comment something positive. Don't be a keyboard warrior. And stay tuned for the next video. I think the next one, what we'll do is we will go down to Liv on the next one and get some of her involvement and insight into mobility, because that's something now I do as a non-negotiable every single day. And obviously her insight into why she get tissue work and the benefits of it. And we'll also get Q&A done. So appreciate you guys a lot. I'm very excited for this prep. We're 2.4 pounds down. Let's go. Catch you in the next one. Peace.